How strong is Black Canary? Let's find out.
This is Batman. You're watching Kyle Reviewed.
So here I wanted to kind of break down as to kind of how strong and how powerful she is. Now, obviously, she's just a regular human. She does have the canary cry, but outside of that, she's just a regular person, right? She doesn't have any super strength, super speed, or any invulnerability, anything like that. But she does have a lot of skills and a lot of martial arts. So let's jump into it. Here, she first appeared in Flash Comics number 68 from 1947, and she's been around. I think she didn't actually quite first appear in her costume or have her canary cry until later on, and she met someone. She ended up mixed up with a wizard and stuff, and that's how she got her powers in the early original storyline. So that's quite interesting, and she didn't really have that, so that's why she's been around. But she's always been a super badass kind of martial artist, and always been super skilled in martial artist, and she's been training and fighting alongside many of the heroes since. Most notably, she's been fighting alongside with Wonder Woman, and so she's been trained a lot by Wonder Woman and teamed up quite a lot by Wonder Woman throughout the years. So this is quite interesting. So she's highly skilled at that point with her hand-to-hand combat and knows multiple martial arts. She's also has her canary cry, like we've been saying, and how powerful is a canary cry? And that's something we're going to be diving into here, is mostly into the how strong her canary cry is. Now, she's able to stop speeding trucks coming right at her, and to kind of just destroying it, completely disintegrating pretty much the truck into kind of unsalvageable. So it is quite interesting seeing how powerful she is, because there is different points where she's able to control and different points in time where she's not able to control that much. Since there have been so many, since she's been around since the 40s, there's been so many different iterations of the characters, and so many different people have taken on the name of the Black Canary. We also see here that she's able to stop full-on trains, which is quite interesting. She actually did do this, if I'm not mistaken, in the Arrow show. We had one of the multiple canaries on there did that, where she's able to stop the train to the point where not just stopping the train or derailing the train or whatever, but to the point where she's able to do it at low decibels, will stop the train without kind of crashing it and killing everyone inside. So it's pretty interesting, pretty cool to see how controlled she has it for right there. She's also here able to stop speeding bullets, where bullets are being shot at her. She's able to stop them from, she's able to destroy them with her cry here, which is quite interesting because, bullets going faster than the speed of sound, her cry would have to be faster than the speed of sound to actually do that, which would be quite interesting to see as how that would work in that situation. It would go off, but you wouldn't hear it before it did its thing, because it would have to be faster than sound. So that would be quite interesting to play with that, to see someone dive deeper into that idea, the speed of her cry. We also see here that she's able to take down the Amazo robot. Now, this is quite interesting. If you don't know who the Amazo robot is, he's a robot created by T. Morrow, who also created the Red Tornado, and he's able to copy superheroes' powers and fighting skills and all that stuff as he fights with them. And he's able to copy Superman and Batman. He fights the Justice League, and it's unclear as to how, I'm not quite sure as to how strong he is when he does copy Superman's invulnerability and stuff. How much resistance does he take from that? Is he able to take as much? Probably not quite, but pretty good durability he's able to copy from Superman. So he is very durable for him to take on the entire Justice League. And here we see that she's able to just blow off his entire head using her canary cry, which is pretty cool. And speaking of Superman, we see that she's able to, I think this was actually in the Injustice video game tie-in comics, where she was actually able to make Superman bleed from his ears with her cry, which is quite interesting there. And if I'm not mistaken, later on, she does become a Green Lantern at some point in a different storyline, where she's able to take down Superman, or have Superman begging on his knees and crying and screaming in agony, using a Green Lantern ring to amplify her cry, which would be something cool to see at some point. Here, speaking of Green Lantern, we see that she was actually able to kill Green Lantern, Hal Jordan Green Lantern, in the recent storyline, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic books, where she, screamed so loud and she killed Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Now, this is quite interesting. I don't know anything. I haven't read this storyline, so I'm not sure if he was depowered or anything like that, but her to be able to take on a full-on Green Lantern like that is pretty cool. And later on, the Lantern ring comes in and That's where this is where she gets the Green Lantern ring, and she's able to, she generates a giant microphone, a giant amplifier, and it amplifies her own screen, which makes her able to, subdue Superman for a little bit. So that's quite cool there. And here we're going to dive into the movie. We have the Birds of Prey coming out just next weekend, and it's going to be quite interesting. We haven't seen too much in the trailers since it is mostly it's the Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of Harley Quinn. So it's going to be focusing obviously on Harley Quinn. Whenever you have a movie with her, right? Obviously it's going to be focused on her. But let's see as to where we can take a look. We do have one little thing from the trailers that have shown us a quick glimpse at her cry, and we only get very little bit of it. So we don't see too much, but let's check it out and see what we have here to check out. So here we have some stuff. It's very low quality, but we'll just have to break it down and see what we can find where we see this clip of her using her cry. I'm just going to play it once and we'll see if we can hear it. And we can see what we can hear, but they don't really have too much audio. I think the audio is not in this clip, but we do see quite a bit. So this is quite interesting. So let's break this down. So I love to see her cry. It is quite interesting here. It looks a lot more wider of a power and stuff. It's going to be interesting to see as if she's able to kind of control it in the Arrowverse shows, in the Arrowverse stuff. She's able to somewhat control it, at least slightly directionally do it. This looks like everyone has to, if anyone's behind her, her allies are going to be, gone deaf. If she has the rest of the Birds of Prey standing behind her, which we don't see here, which is good. At this kind of power, it seems like it would make everyone within any, whether they're in front of her, behind her, anywhere, deaf. Maybe in front of her will actually be where the destruction happens, but anyone behind her would still just go deaf instantly. So that'll be interesting to see how they play with that, is if she's able to do, able to control it, how long she had her powers, what do they do this? Are they going to go with some of the wizard? I doubt they'll go with the early 40s, origin with wizards and stuff. But how are they going to do that? What kind of origin are they going to give her? It's going to be quite interesting. And also looking at the background here, it seems like we see a lot of extras, just bad guys, just kind of flying around and stuff, and that's really cool seeing that. A lot of wire work and all that. But they did do that a lot on the original Arrow shows, and how they had her, you just using the voice and only the actors would react. But that was really kind of disappointing. We really want to see an actual blast. So this is just a trailer. It could be early on. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they're saving the good stuff for later on. But they could be quite interesting to see as to how much more of because this just looked like a filter put over this, a shaky filter that they just put over this shot. So it does look quite interesting to see. I love the ripple effects, looks cool, but I'd like to see a little bit more kind of controlled and stuff, maybe kind of like the Arrowverse stuff where you can actually see directional stuff. And if they wanted to, she's in, I think there's some couple of points where she's just in handcuffs in the Arrow, and she's able to just blast it off without destroying the whole floor and just break off with handcuffs. Things like that is quite interesting to play with, and to see some actual kind of range control. If she wanted to hit one person without hitting two people, could she do that? That could be quite cool as to playing with that, especially with her being a singer in this. She should have lots of control over her voice, and I think that would be quite interesting to play with, to see as to where things go. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a lot of things like that. Maybe when we see this scene in the actual theaters and stuff, maybe there'll be kind of a bunch of cars or some trucks that can actually go flying and rolling around, because we've seen the cry on the CW, and it's gotten a lot better than it started, than the way where it started. But I'd love to see it a little bit more kind of powerful, and to see as to where things go. So all in all, I'm excited to see as to where things go with this movie, with a Canary Cry, and how powerful she might be, especially knowing that she's, in the comic book, she has a lot of skills, a lot of control. Like I said, she's able to take down Green Lantern, Superman, and Amazo, taking down Green Lantern and Superman, or, killing a Green Lantern, that's for sure. And then, somewhat injuring a Superman. He bled from his ears, but he was still able to, to recoup from it quite quickly, being a Kryptonian. But it still is an impressive feat to be able to do that. So let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. How strong do you think Black Canary is going to be in the Birds of Prey movie? Are you excited to see her portrayal? And let me know what you think, guys, of how strong she is. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Hi, this is Kevin Conroy, talking to you from the library of Wayne Manor. You may know me as Batman. I just want you to know that you're watching Kyle Reviewed. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.